Greetings, my friends. I want to thank you all for subscribing. I want to thank all of my channel members for supporting me in this endeavor to save pop culture. And if you are not subscribed, please consider supporting this channel. We need you. Thank you. My friends, yesterday was an emotional day for me. I caught a fleeting glimpse of something that I thought had passed from this earth forever. Star Trek. Not the ugly, stupid anti-Trek that has mocked canon and fans for years and driven the franchise to the breaking point. No, real Star Trek. Something made with love and respect. Something created to honor Gene Roddenberry's legacy, not destroy it. I saw the first real Star Trek I've seen in 20 years, and I got to see my childhood hero one more time. I got to see Captain Kirk. It's difficult to put into words the powerful emotional response I had to seeing this. A short film titled 765874, Unification. After a long drought where I, as a Star Trek fan, had given up all hope of seeing any semblance of genuine Star Trek again, watching Unification stirred something inside me akin to how I felt seeing Luke Skywalker again in The Mandalorian. Childhood memories run deep, and looking back, I realized that I had 4 critical early exposures to pop culture that changed my life. Batman, Monty Python's Flying Circus, The Prisoner, and Star Trek. Batman led me to the rich world of comic books, not just DC, but Stan Lee's Marvel Universe and all points beyond. Monty Python connected with my quirky sense of humor, my love of the absurd non sequitur. The Prisoner fed my intellect and led me to question everything, but Star Trek inspired me on every level. As a writer, as an artist, as an actor, and as a man. Because Captain Kirk is, and always will be on some level, my role model of what a man should be. Kirk was courageous, heroic, charismatic, a strong leader secure enough in his abilities to have a sense of humor. He was self-sacrificing, resourceful, a man who never believed in a no-win scenario and who turned death into a fighting chance for life over and over again. I was stunned and surprised to see Captain Kirk revived using makeup and technology at this, Star Trek's lowest point in its history, because of the wholesale rejection of Captain Kirk by Paramount in promoting its bastardized version over the genuine article. How could I ever expect to see Captain Kirk again, after seeing Kirk excluded from official Star Trek banners, shunned by the marketing departments, pushed aside and marginalized, slandered for being a toxic male, which only means he's a manly role model for young men who don't choose to go through life groveling apologetically for being who they are. And yet, for all that, through the miracle of technology, I got to see Captain Kirk again. I wish I could show you this video myself, but here are some stills from it so you'll know what I'm talking about, and you'll find a link in the video description to the original video. We will also be discussing this remarkable short film on Pop Culture Breakdown tonight at 7 Central, but for now, here is my reaction with some stills from this amazing piece of work. There is no dialogue in Unification, and so we must speculate as to what's happening in this short, and bear in mind, this is only my interpretation, and others may differ. We catch a significant glimpse of Gary Mitchell, Kirk's friend in Where No Man Has Gone Before, who was gifted or cursed with godlike powers that were multiplying exponentially. Kirk, in the end, was forced to kill his friend Gary, whose absolute power corrupted him absolutely. And yet, what if Gary Mitchell's death did not end his evolution? What if, stripped of human frailties, he evolved into something much more? And what if Gary Mitchell decided, in his compassion, that Kirk and Spock should be reunited one more time, as Spock prepared to pass, at last, into that unknown country? And so, we see Captain Kirk walking through a garden. It's very much like a near-death experience, surrounded by a perfectly beautiful day, with old friends waiting for him, greeting him. We see Robin Curtis as Savick, now grown old, many other familiar faces. Perhaps this is Kirk's death experience, and perhaps this is the point where Gary Mitchell chooses to bring Kirk back for real. You can almost see the mental process of Mitchell as he wonders, should I bring Kirk back as I knew him, a young and vital man? Or perhaps the Kirk who faced Khan? Or maybe I should instead bring him back as Spock last saw him, so Spock will be comforted to see his old friend one last time. Or perhaps Mitchell lets the three Kirks decide for themselves. Regardless, the decision is reached, and Kirk sees Spock near his end. He goes and sits beside him, smiling reassuringly, and he takes his hand in a moment evocative of Star Trek the Motion Picture, when Spock shed any last semblance of shame he ever had in acknowledging his feelings for his captain, his comrade, his friend. This is a love letter to Captain Kirk, to Mr. Spock, to Star Trek and its fans who have been starved of love by Paramount for decades now. How could this not be an emotional experience for all of us who love this modern myth? It wasn't just Captain Kirk who was revived in this. For a brief moment, it was Star Trek itself. Unification was not merely an AI deepfake. William Shatner performed Captain Kirk in all his iterations, except for young Captain Kirk, who was performed by Sam Witwer, and it was a combination of makeup and de-aging AI that was able to turn back the hands of time and work this miracle. William Shatner's presence lent Unification the stamp of authenticity, and although Leonard Nimoy is no longer with us sadly, his family was involved in this loving tribute, and I can't help but feel that Leonard would have been as deeply moved by this as all of us were. In conclusion, of my childhood hero, I can only say this. For me, Captain Kirk never died, because I refused to watch Star Trek Generations. I refused to admit that into my head. I heard some rumors about it, but I don't believe them. Sure, there were some strange things in this video. I'm not sure what this jungle gym thing is. I heard a rumor that Alex from Clockwork Orange somehow time-traveled and shot Kirk in the back while performing Singing in the Rain, but surely that never happened. At least, it will never happen for me, because I'll never watch it. Star Trek Generations doesn't exist in my mental dojo, but still, after all the years of abuse of Star Trek at the hands of people who neither love nor understand it, seeing this loving tribute to my childhood heroes was an overwhelming experience that filled me with hope that despite the worst efforts of the cultural vandals that despise it, Star Trek has not vanished from the face of the earth. Perhaps this loving tribute and all the excitement and goodwill it has generated will make Skydance see that this isn't Star Trek. This is. If Star Trek is ever going to live again, it's possible this short film has Star Trek's Katra, and maybe, just maybe, it points the way home. From the center of the earth, this is Dictor Van Doomcock bidding you all, my friends, stay hopeful. Ha 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 ha.